Hey everyone, Erica with a K here. In today's video, I'm going to be using my scrap pile to create a reversible bag for the first time, and also just a bag in general for the first time. I've never done either one of these, so let's try to do this together. So you might notice these little patches that I have cut out. That is from my Reimagine Your Wardrobe video, and I remember distinctly when I cut them, I was like, I'm going to put these in my scrap pile because I'm going to use them for something. And I did have patchwork in mind for something with my niece, and that's what we're doing here today. So I need you to know that patchwork is very hard, especially when you're working with fabric like this. It's almost like a netting, and it's hard to sew with it, and it's also hard to I don't know, I think because they were already different sizes, it was just kind of difficult for me. So I just took my time with this. This is sped up a lot. This entire video is sped up like 3 times. Yeah, so I just did one row at a time in the sewing machine so that I didn't get overwhelmed. And I don't know if it was the material or what it was, but my my thread kept on getting jammed up in my machine, so I had to fix it like 1,000 times. But I wound up doing a zigzag, and I used the 5 on it. I think that's how you say it. So it's like a thick zigzag, and I thought that looked really cool with the patchwork. I'm really happy I did that. So for the columns, I'm just going straight down. This was a little bit easier to do than when I had to go back in and do the rows, because that was really difficult because they were all different sizes. But I think because of the material I was using, it's a very, very it's like a stretchy netting almost. It was pulling down. So my patchwork is even worse than I thought it was going to be. It was very difficult to do this, but I'm happy I did it, and I give a lot of props to people who do patchwork. So this was by far the hardest part, was just, going down each one. But this one was easier because it was just straight lines. It's when we go the other way that it gets really difficult. So we're finally tackling the rows, I guess you can say, and you can see each box. Each time I close a box, I need to stop it and cut that thread. I'm not good at like keeping it in the machine and turning it. Like, I just can't really do that well. So I take them out every time. But don't worry, I also save all the yarn, or I keep calling it yarn, all the thread that I use. I save that and I put that in my scrap pile as well, and I definitely use it. So don't feel like I'm being super wasteful with this. Again, my machine kept on getting jammed. The top bobbin, I guess, kept on like popping up. But I learned a lot from sewing this, and I have a lot of the tips that I learned in this video from doing this video. I have that in my sewing tips that I wish I knew for beginners, because I'm still relatively new at using a sewing machine, and I just learn as I go. I'm self-taught, and so I wanted to share those tips with you guys. But like I said, I learned a lot from doing this video, so I hope that video is helpful, and I'll definitely have that linked. For the sake of the video, I'm going to skip ahead and start actually making the structure of the bag. So what I learned, what me and my husband figured out, is to make a reversible bag, you need to make 2 separate bags and then put them inside of each other. So I'm going to construct the first one right now, and I took the 2 patchwork pieces and I put them face together like a sandwich, and then I just used the same exact stitch, and I just, did 3 sides. So whatever side was going to be the opening just stayed untouched at this point. And so that is what I'm doing here. On this last side, thankfully it was the last side, something happened with the thread and I didn't want to deal with it, so I just walked away and started something else. I I really didn't like the way this side came out. You could see like kind of on the side, it's like the patchwork isn't perfect. So I actually wound up making the bag a little bit smaller just to kind of fix that. But in the meantime, I'm going to start with the inner bag. And this is just like not a child's, like a doll's blanket that I was holding on to because I knew I wanted to use it for a bag. And so that's what I did. So I thought this was going to be like big spoon, little spoon. And I thought the patchwork bag was going to be little spoon. And I thought this bag that I'm going to construct now is going to be big spoon. And so I just kind of took some pins and went around, and I was like, I'm just going to quickly sew this inside out and just make a little bag out of it, just construct another bag. And before I went and did that, because don't forget that thread is stuck and I need my husband to fix it, I was like, I forgot to sew on my little patch that I have. And so I had to do it by hand. And let me tell you, when you get used to using a sewing machine, hand stitching is the ugliest thing you'll ever see in your life. At least my hand stitching, because I have zero patience for it. But anyway, so here we are with the bag. And again, it is like a sandwich, and the two design sides are on the inside. You can't really tell because the pattern kind of peeps through on both sides on this, but trust me, the design side is on the inside. And for some reason, my bobbin, the top one, kept on messing up. And this is the one thing I am capable of doing, just rethreading that little thing. And for some other strange reason, I decided to go on the inside of my pins, making the bag smaller than it was supposed to be. I should have went on the outside of my pins. I don't really know what I was thinking. I don't know. I have no guesses either. But again, we're constructing a little bag here, and we're just going to do 3 sides, and I'm using the same stitch just because I never changed it. But I actually am happy that I wound up using that same stitch, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. So here it is, the moment of truth. What I thought was going to be little spoon, big spoon wound up actually having to be reversed because this did not fit over the other bag. And that's obviously because I went in and sewed inside where my pins were. I don't know what I was thinking. So I was like, okay, change of plans. We're just going to pivot on this one real quick. And I'm just going to make this little spoon now. So I'm going to refer to this bag as little spoon and the patchwork one as big spoon for the remainder of this video. So on little spoon, I'm just going around and I'm cutting off any extra fabric because I really wanted to not have to make either of these bags smaller because they're already very, very small. And so I just wanted to see how this would look in there. And it was too tall. It was like the depth of it was too tall for the other one because that top ledge that you see on the patchwork that doesn't have patchwork on it needs to get folded over and put down. I just didn't want to do anything to it yet until that other bag was inside of it. So because I wanted to use the same stitch to finish it off so that the whole patchwork bag has the same stitch throughout. And so I was sitting here like racking my brain, like, how am I going to figure out what size this needs to be? And then I was like, duh, just pin it. Like, you don't have to overthink this so much. So I just tucked it under because that's how this is going to be. And I pinned it so that I can see exactly what size little spoon needs to be. And that's what we did. And I did want that lace to peep, I don't know, to be like on top. So I wanted to make sure that I sewed that perfectly. And I also wanted that when you're on the patchwork side, I didn't want you to be able to see the red little flowers on the inside. Like I didn't want it to come over top and like for you to see it when you're looking at it. I want it to look like two very different bags when they're depending on what side you're looking at. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is how I thought I was going to do the depth, and I just measured that. And again, I sewed it. I don't have any of that on camera. You're welcome, because it's just getting very boring showing you guys this, I think. So now we're at the moment of truth, and this is combining the two bags. Little spoon has to be inside out when you do this, and big spoon has to be the right way. And you're just going to sew the top rim together. That's it. I didn't go in and sew any inner seams. Like, I cannot be doing that. That was way too much work. And plus it doesn't matter because it's reversible. And so that's what I did. I also sewed the handle on at this point too. And then this was the end result. This was little spoon, and it just looks so cute. I think it's adorable. And then I just used some extra lace from the other little spoon stuff that I didn't use. And then this is the big spoon. And my patchwork is horrible, but I'm really happy that I did it for the first time. And then this is actually going to be my niece's Easter basket, and I wasn't sure which way it looked cuter, so I wanted to show you guys. I think she's going to like the pink purple side better, but I think that they both came out adorable. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.